First hand I see, 19th Amendment. Yeah, you can use whatever you got. First hand I see, 19th Amendment. 5, oh, shame. 4, shame on y'all. 3, yes, Dana.
The 19th Amendment is the one that says that states, the federal government has control over interstate commerce.
The 19th Amendment is the one that says the federal God. That's -1. God rest your soul. Go ahead, Franco.
It's the right to vote.
For who? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. -1. Who is that? The drive-through group. Go ahead, Christy. Women's right to vote. Garage is on the board. Go ahead, click it, Jacqueline Smith. Yeah, the right to vote shall not be denied or abridged on account of sex. Go ahead, touch the house and pick me a category, garage. This is easy. Just pick me a category.
State governors for 1.
State governors for 1. Number of female governors historically in the United States. Go ahead.
It is
5, 4, 3.
41. No, that's
41. Go ahead, click it, Jacqueline Smith.
No, that's female government.
Yeah, 41. At the time of the book, I think it was 32, but in fact, it's 41 now. Touch the house. Pick me a category. Y'all are back to even.
All right, we'll do Annapolis trip for 2.
Annapolis trip for 2. First hand I see. Length of the Maryland legislature. Yeah, I think so.
90 days.
It is. Click it, Jacqueline Smith. 90 days. In fact, it is. And it ended this year on April the 10th. Pick me a category. Y'all have it.
Annapolis for 3.
Annapolis for 3. List all you can. This is our first one. Go ahead and click it. Hailstorm. You've got it first. You will have it next. 5. You'll have it third. 5, 4, oh, 3. Shame on you. 2. Hailstorm. 1. Go. You guys have it.
Oh, it's when liquid ice water drops. And then like there's a thunderstorm, so no.
-4. You've got it, John.
It's the program where they use cell phones to find the location of the person who's controversial.
They use cell phones.
To triangulate where they are.
Explain it to me. You're right, but make sure that you explain it the right way.
It was a court case that
It is a court case.
The Supreme Court of Maryland was dealing with it, and it was like whether or not they could use the cell phones to find where somebody was at the time of a crime without a warrant.
So Hailstorm is like a technology.
Yeah.
And how does it work with the phone? Because I'm going to give you... Whoa, this is your first one. 1, 2, 3. How does it work with the phone? How does it trick it?
They use the cell tower.
They use cell towers?
Yes.
Or something a little more subtle than that. 5. Anybody? Go ahead, Alex.
GPS.
They do, but what's this trick with the cell phone towers? Because they don't really use cell phone towers. 4. Oh, 3. Oh, 2. 1. Anybody? Go ahead.
Oh,
-3.
all right.
Okay, go back and you tell me what you can tell me.
It was like they bounced rays off the cell towers to find out where the phones were.
Hailstorm is basically this program that tricks phones into thinking that they're connecting with a cell tower, but they're not actually connecting with a cell tower. And what you had said before, 1, 2, 3, about the idea that you could get the location of a phone by doing this, and I think you said without a warrant, 1, 2, 3 is exactly the basis of the case. Now, to take this a little bit further, how did this work within the case with the Maryland court when we talked to Chief Justice Barbera? Anybody in your group can talk.
They were deciding it the next day.
They were deciding it the next day. Okay, Yasha, go ahead.
It was against the 4th Amendment. The right to search and seizure.
You know, that's true, but I need something more specific than that. What was the problem?
Because you need a warrant to search people's stuff. They were basically going around like spying, if you will. In order for you to get something from a case or evidence, you need a warrant. You need to go to a judge.
Yeah, now the expert's talking.
They did not get a warrant. They kind of went around that, used a technology, and that was against the 4th Amendment of the search and seizure.
I'll give you that. That is true, and the idea of the warrant and the 4th Amendment. But the other gyration, easy. Yeah. Understand on this. They were actually looking for somebody. I believe they were accused of. That's what I thought it was. And in fact, they found them by using this technology. Right. And the question is, did they need a warrant to do this? Was it legal or not? I didn't look today to see if they've decided it yet. Does anybody know? Ooh, that'd be massive bonus points if somebody could tell me.
My prediction is that.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Go ahead, touch the house. Pick me a category, drive through. You're at -1.
Alright,
Isn't that our thing?
I go.
Oh, they got the last correct answer. Sorry, the last correct answer gets to pick the next question.
Well, alright, Regis, let me go for chapter 6.
Regis.
Governors, 2 points.
Governors for 2. List all you can. Click it, Jacqueline Smith. Where do I get what I need to give you what you want? You've got it first. Y'all will have it next. Who was it? What's this about? Tell me the story. 5, 4.
What's about this is when you did the legislative thing, like when
The legislative.
No, not the legislative. What do you call it? Lobbying. The lobbying.
The lobbying thing. Jessica, help him out. He looks like you have something to say. Go zoom in on Jessica. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So this is dealing with governors that they need to cut somebody's funding from somewhere to help other people get that funding. So
1, 2, 3. Which governor specifically was it? 5, 4,
right.
3, 2, 1. Who's next, Jacqueline Smith? Go. Which governor was it?
Cuomo, senior.
Governor Cuomo. Yes, it was. 1, 2, 3. Governor Cuomo was the one. And when constituents would come up to him and say, "I need this," go ahead.
He said that I'll give you everything you want, then I'm going to tax the hell out of your parents, basically. So I'll give you whatever programs you want, but they're going to...
Really?
Actually, someone else. Yeah, that's -3. That was somebody else that said that.
That was Montgomery and the council. Give me some points.
Who was it that said it? First hand I see. Someone, go ahead.
Nancy Fleury.
It was actually Nancy Fleury. 1, 2, 3. Then I effectively said it.
She said Pelosi.
She said
She said Pelosi.
She said Pelosi.
That was Pelosi.
Pelosi. Check the camera.
What'd you hear, Pelosi?
It was totally.
I heard Fleury.
I heard Florine and I'm right here.
Understand, where do I get what I need to give you what you want? He basically said, if anybody came up to me and they wanted something, I want to do what I can, but I've got limited resources. And what I had mentioned to you the other day is even with the county council, governors, state legislatures, when they're dealing with appropriations, there is a significant budget, but most of it is already spent. So if you're going to raise from something, you're going to have to pull from something in order to fix it. And people really struggled giving Cuomo this answer. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because I like old Betsy. Touch the house. Pick me a category. Somebody in the group.
Annapolis chip for 4 points.
Annapolis for 4. Maximum age of a Maryland judge. First hand I see. Go ahead.
70.
-4. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead, Shannon.
70.
Yeah, go ahead, click it. 1, 2, 3, 4. When somebody yells out the right answer and you still get it wrong, -4 again. Dear God.
She got a gun though.
Not with her. Go ahead, pick me a category.
We'll do Annapolis trip for 5.
Annapolis trip for 5.
Good God.
Oh God, I'm gonna die. Pictionary. Who is gonna draw? Okay, draw. This is an easy one. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna give you the Annapolis trip. I'm gonna give you a different one to draw.
That's cheating.
If you'll draw that.
Hey, Josh, looking.
Okay? Actually, go ahead. On the 5.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
How many wrong guesses do we get?
You can just keep yelling.
Okay, is it a horse?
Jeremy, Tango makes 3.
Tango makes 3.
Wow.
Yeah,
Gay
gay penguins, Tango makes 3, homosexuality.
What are we yelling at here? I heard penguin. Penguin is what I was looking for. So that was +5, right?
Yes.
Y'all have it first. What's the significance of the penguins
Well,
from the last
first of all,
section?
libraries are super important. And as a result of them being super important, we need to make sure that kids get the right books in libraries. And people felt that you shouldn't have social issues in books for kids that young.
Hey, I'm losing patience.
Sorry, so it had pictures of gay penguins in a book, and parents felt that it was their job to explain homosexuality to children, and not
The thing
teachers'
is,
job to
this was
explain
in a public
homosexuality to
school.
Go
children.
ahead.
This was in a public school, not just any public library. It was in a public elementary school given to first graders, first grade, second graders to read.
Yeah.
It was in the public school library, and parents felt that having it in the school would be overstepping lines of teaching them about morals.
Okay, so I'm going to try and extrapolate this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've got a book that deals with penguins in a public school library for very young children. What's the sensitivity about penguins? They're just mammals.
Sensitivity is that the penguins
They're
are
gay.
They're male.
How do you know?
Because they said that.
Because the penguins.
What does it say? Give me the story.
Okay,
They
specifically,
wound
there are
us.
2 penguins. Okay, so there are 2 penguins that don't have any mates in a zoo. And
2
they-
regular penguins? Or
Regular penguins.
What kind of penguins?
Male.
I think
Male!
they're
So you've got 2 male penguins.
They
Go
look
ahead.
kind of lonely, so they give them an egg, and both of them raise the egg together as if they were a parent to that egg or coupling together.
Yes.
So they assume that the penguins are gay, or at least love anthropomorphizing the animal.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Tango makes 3. Tango is actually going to be the baby penguin. What school district was the one that we talked about in class? 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Charlotte Mecklenburg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Charlotte Mecklenburg was the school district that actually tried to ban this book specifically because of the sensitivity of the theme, again for young children. So kind of keep this thought in mind. This was listed, if you remember, on the ALA list that I had given you as being one of the most banned or censored books in the country, again because of the theme. And you had mentioned something I want to go back to. It basically said that these penguins, they swam together, they ate together. It was almost like they were a couple. So they didn't quite say that they were gay, but it was implied, and a number of the parents didn't like it. And the other thing that it mentioned was, like you said, they wound their necks together. So there was an argument about if they're socializing something that shouldn't be. But again, it wasn't just banned in Charlotte, but that was the school district that we focused on. Go ahead, click it. Pick me a category. Actually, your group, Blitzkrieg, pick me a category because you gave me the last answer.
State legislatures 5.
State legislatures for 5. List all you can. Here we go. Primary and general election. What's the difference between these? Y'all have it first, y'all have it second, you've got it third.
The primary is where the party selects who will be their nominee for the general election.
Okay, hang on. So, primary election, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're saying that it's just going to be Republicans against Republicans, or Democrats against Democrats, or whatevers against whatevers, and you're going to determine the actual candidate for the party.
Yeah, it's usually a few months before the general.
Okay, go ahead.
And then the general election is where the 2 nominees of the parties all compete each other, and you need a couple of certain amount of required signatures to get on the ballot for the primary and the general usually, or you can pay a fine to the board of elections.
Pay a fee.
Pay a fee. Yeah.
Pay a fee. Okay, I'll go with that last part. If you're running in a primary election, what's your number 1 goal as a candidate? 5. Anybody in the group?
You want to be as popular as you can within your party. If you're a Republican, that means moving to the right. If you're a Democrat, moving to the left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're running in a primary election, the number 1 thing you got to do is consolidate your base, which again means, just like you said, you're probably going to move a little closer to the meat, if you will. If you're a Republican, you're going to move a little closer to the meat, if you will, if you're a Democrat. What's the number 1 goal when you get into the general election?
Shift back to the center.
And what's the significance of the center?
So you can collect moderates votes.
And the moderate votes ultimately will
decide who wins.
Yeah, they really do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Democrats by themselves and Republicans by themselves do not actually win elections, but in the general election you've got to lurch back towards the center and pick off as many moderates as you can. Go ahead, touch the house. Pick me a category. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 32. -9 and 1. Go ahead, pick me a category.
Parties and elections 4.
Parties and elections for 4. List all you can. Click it. Gerrymandering. Y'all will have it next. You've got it now. You've got it third.
Can I get 4?
Okay.
Go ahead. Y'all have it.
Obviously want you.
Gerrymandering is where the political parties that run a state capital or the state legislature will try to maximize the benefits that they can get out of the state congressional districts by drawing as many friendly congressional districts as they can within their state.
What does friendly mean? 5.
It elects the people of their same political party.
Okay, so basically what you've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4. You're basically going to have in gerrymandering. State legislatures are going to be the ones that are going to determine the legislative districts. And when they draw them, there are going to be certain factors that they're supposed to consider, but one that ultimately they come back to is partisan composition. 1, 2, 3, 4. And effectively what you've got is, Republicans are going to draw more Republican districts. Democrats are going to draw more Democratic majority districts in order to ensure that they win. Somebody else in the group. Anything else you can tell me about gerrymandering? Somebody else in the group. 5.
So Maryland's 4th congressional district looks like a pterodactyl pretty much.
Judge.
Maryland's 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually looks like what the district court judge said was a broken wing pterodactyl. And Maryland and gerrymandering, thoughts?
One of the most gerrymandered states.
Gerrymandered, yeah. Maryland is actually considered one of the most gerrymandered states in the country. Probably for sure the most Democratic gerrymandered state. The Republicans